to be regular season games, or is those going to be maybe 10 regular season games and 3 or 4 playoff games? You know what I'm saying? Some of these guys, just because of the contact that they've come in contact with and because of the amount of time that they've played in the NFL, man, injuries is just something that's just going to be something that you're just going to have to, it's just something that you're going to have to deal with. You know what I'm saying? It's just something you're just going to have to deal with. Let me see. Did we disconnect? Looks like we back.
Check the internet.
Let me see. Let me see if we back. All right, we back. All right, we back up in this piece. So, yeah. So, E. Kush says, Happy Scouts Day. I appreciate you, man. Happy Scouts Day to you. What's up with you, Auntie? I see you. Lachey, how you doing? I see you up in here. Brandon says, thanks, Ruben. I was thinking he was, but wasn't for sure. Steven says, what's good, West Coast? Man, it looks like my broadcast got disconnected. Let me see. Let me see. Let me make sure we back up here.
Hello. How are you?
Are we up? We still up. All right. Yeah, I don't know. It looked like it interrupted or something, man. This new app I'm using is kind of weird. But I appreciate everybody for rocking, you guys. I mean, for one thing, it makes everything look very, very like aesthetically like all nice. I like the way the logo's right there looking all good. But yeah, man, happy All Scouts Day today. What up with you, Jerry? I am back. Happy birthday. Oh, wait, you telling me happy birthday. What's up? Sean says, Cowboys need a defensive tackle real bad. You're right. We do. We need a defensive tackle really bad. And like I said, man, yes, I love the fact that Michael Bennett can play defensive tackle. I love it. You know what I'm saying? But we have a problem. Like, our defense is so much different when a team is able to run up the middle that the Dallas Cowboys definitely need to invest the money to just fix the problem. Like, there's just some problems that you just don't go cheap on. And a defensive tackle who is the gateway to your team, you don't go cheap on that. Like, I mean, think about this. Did you go cheap on your center? Like, think about this. You understood how important an offensive line was by what? By making your center one of the highest paid centers to ever play football. So if you believe that they're going to be defensive, that you believe that the defensive tackle position is so important that you need a center who can stop them from getting on the inside, that you paid one to be the highest paid, then you would think that on the opposite side of the ball, that you would understand that same premise, and that is that you need a defensive tackle who can get after that center, just like you need a center who can stop a defensive tackle from getting after your quarterback. Jaquez says, too bad they ain't, so we got to go with what we got. Yeah, not necessarily, because, we still got the trade deadline is not till week 8. And to be honest with you, here at Dallas Cowboys Scouting, we believe that our voice matter. We believe that, if we put enough information out there that, someone will hear it. And it doesn't take Jerry Jones to watch my video. All it really takes is for the nation to share the ideal enough. And then at some point, maybe the right person hears the right idea, and you never know. You never know. E. Kush says Bennett can play defensive tackle. Yes, he can. So can DeMarcus Lawrence. But do we see him playing defensive tackle? No, we do not. You know what I'm saying? And another thing, I'm going to be honest with you guys. We have a bunch of guys on our teams that can play defensive tackle, but I want a guy who can play defensive tackle well. Like someone who's known for playing defensive tackle well. And then think about this, right? I'm not trying to bring up Taco, but I'm going to bring up Taco, right? You trade for a guy that has 2.5 sacks right now. Taco has 3 sacks right now in the NFL. And Taco makes $1.8 million. Michael Bennett makes $5.6 million. So you release a guy with the exact same stats, and he's younger. And he's a first-round draft pick. The fact that they went and got Michael Bennett is 100% proof that the Dallas Cowboys were wrong about releasing Taco Charleston. That's a fact. Saul says, what's up, West Coast? He says, yes, but Steven said, Jerry said, we ain't making no big moves. Granted, they lie a lot, so we'll see. To be honest with you, the Dallas Cowboys signing a defensive tackle, I don't think that would be a big move. That's an obvious move. You have 3 games where teams ran the middle up you and gutted you from the inside. Like, that's not, I don't think that's a big move. That's just common sense. He didn't say nothing about making common sense moves, though, did he? Now, if Jerry says, If Jerry Jones says the Dallas Cowboys will not be making moves that are common sense, that make sense, then I will definitely be a little bit scared because I'll be like, what's going on here? You know what I'm saying? But big moves, I ain't tripping on big moves because we don't really need a big move. We don't need an earth-shaking move. But if we can get a quality defensive tackle in here, it's going to totally change the dynamics of your defense. Now, obviously, you know, all those assassins like Sue and what's the other boy named? Sue and McCoy, they're all signed. They're all signed on one-year deals, so that means there's probably no value in trading for them. But a guy like Leonard Williams out of USC that plays for the New York Jets, I don't see why the Dallas Cowboys wouldn't entertain a thought of going after a guy like that. Eric says, E-Kush says, West Coast, we called it. We said the taco release would come back on us. We did, man. I mean, and think about this. You're paying almost 3 times as much for taco. And for a guy who has the exact same amount of sacks right now. Now, obviously, he don't got what Michael Bennett had last year, but you know, you don't pay a guy, you're only signing him for 1 year anyway, so you don't really matter what he had last year. It's more about what he can get for you right now. So, yes, you know what I'm saying? I definitely agree that, you know, the signing of Michael Bennett definitely lets you know that the releasing of Taco Charleston was a non-business decision. And that's why I told you guys, that's the one thing I hate about the Dallas Cowboys, is we are definitely a team that makes more football moves that are 100% based off non-football moves, if you get what I'm talking about. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like imagine if you sold fish for a living, but you made decisions based on selling chickens or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what the Dallas Cowboys do. We make a lot of football-based moves that are not based on football. You know what I'm saying? Like, they cut people for that have nothing to do with the football, nothing to do with their perception of what they do on the actual football field. Because if that was the case, a guy like Taco Charleston would be here. You know what I'm saying? That's just real. And this also throws for the loop because, I mean, Michael Bennett is also a guy, like I said, he's a very verbal guy. He's a guy that's been in the media, you know, a few times, if I'm not mistaken. You know what I'm saying? He's the same guy that, you know, I am about to go into all that because he's a Cowboy now. But all I'm saying is this, man, you know, this whole moniker of like, you got to be a Garrett guy. You got to be able to do this, da. I don't think that's true. I think it's true when you're trying to cut a guy, but when you're trying to bring a guy on your team, you could care less as long as he can get after the quarterback. John Drew says, I think we're trying to give our LBs a pass. Look at some of their jobs to stop the run. Bennett will help the opposing offense O-line because they have to account for him. Therefore, it's opening. Yeah, but you're not going to have 3. I get what you're saying, but I mean, you're not going to have 3 defensive ends on the field at the same time. You're not going to do that. Not on a 4-3 base defense. You're not going to do that. If you are, if you do, if I was a smart team, I would just run the ball on you then. Like, you have 3 undersized guys trying to get after a running back that are going to be going man on man with a defensive tackle. Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. And what makes sense is if you have a guy that is a 330 pounds, put a guy that's at least 315 on him, who is what? A defensive tackle. You know what I'm saying? Like, the Dallas Cowboys are the only team, I swear, we're the only team in the history of football that will literally draft people, free agents, will literally look at what they're doing successfully and say, hey, even though you're being successful as a defensive end, I'm going to put you at defensive tackle. What? So you're telling me you watched all that film on him and everything that said that he should play a different position? Like, that's the type of stuff that I'm saying. Like, my thing is this. Like, let someone fail at what you hired them for before you go changing their whole position. You know what I'm saying? Like, at least come in here and fail at at least what I saw. Then I can be like, okay, yeah, let's try him at D tackle. But I don't want to be looking at no defensive end and being like, oh, yeah, let's put him at defensive tackle. Then when it doesn't work out, the whole nation's going crazy talking about he sucks. No, it's not that he sucks. It's just that you didn't bring him in for that. Like Kerry Hyder, man. Kerry Hyder's, West Coast. I thought you said Kerry Hyder. I'm like, yeah, but he played D tackle in preseason. They got him playing as a defensive end. That's a totally different position. Like, that's why I hate when people be like, where's Tank? It's like, bruh, Tank is not a D tackle. He's a defensive end. That's a totally different position. Like, one gets paid for sacks, the other one gets paid for tackles for losses. Like, that's totally different. Like, that's totally. Like, if Snacks Harrison was a defensive end, he would have not got the type of contract that he's gotten off the amount of sacks he has. And that's because they're not counting that. When you're a defensive tackle, they're counting TFLs. Those are tackles for loss, hitting running backs in the backfield. Lamar, I'm gonna need you to slap yourself. Don't ever come on my feed talking about, man, we just need to tank for a top 5 pick. I need you to slap yourself. Chris says, Cohen says, Chris Richards knows his tendencies from these days in Seattle's. I'm gonna be honest with you, I ain't trying to hear. I mean, that sounds good, but man, Chris Richard is not no defensive line coach. That's Rod Marinelli. I don't know why people get this tendency that he's a defensive line coach. He is not a defensive line coach. When someone talks about pass defensive pass coordinator, what they're talking about is matching the back end coverage with the front end defensive line. That's it. He not out there. Chris Richard's not out there working with the defensive tackles. Like, he's working with the DBs and the safeties. Marco says, read an article saying we should try to trade like AB and Schultz and etc. I ain't gonna lie, I read that same article and I actually agree with it. I don't think a lot of those guys have as much value as they assume that they were saying that they do, but I definitely have no problem with any of the names that was in that article of trading. Hey man, I'm gonna tell you, anybody talking about tanking and we number 1 in the division, 4-3, we didn't beat every team in our division, and the Eagles are looking like trash. You talking about tanking for a top 5 pick? Man, you better slap yourself. You don't even know if the draft gonna be here. Jesus come back next Thursday, and look at that. Now we did all that for nothing. Lamar says we only beat sorry teams and get smashed by really good ones. Well, this is my thing, Lamar. You can only play the teams that are on your schedule. And my thing is this: if you're expecting for your team to go 16-0, then yeah, that makes sense. I get where you're coming from. And to be honest with you, you use the word smash very loosely. We lost by 2 points to the New Orleans Saints, 2 total points. We lost to 10 points. I mean, it was 10 points by the Packers, but they're number 1 team in their division with Aaron Rodgers. Now the Jets, yeah, I'll give you the Jets, but I'll also give the Patriots the Buffalo game. They won by 3, but it was one of Tom Brady's worst performances. You know what I'm saying? But most importantly, you're 4-3. Like, who cares if you smash on this, or it don't matter. At the end of the day, your team is 4-3. If the playoffs started today, we would have a home playoff game. You know what I'm saying? I think you gotta, you kind of drop step out your feelings just a little bit. But I get it. Some people come in thinking that your Cowboys are gonna go 16-0. I think that's really unrealistic. But I mean, if that was your expectation, I can see why you're upset. You know what I'm saying? But there hasn't been a team go 16-0 and win a Super Bowl since the Dolphins. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, that's not even my expectation. At the beginning of the season, people asked me what was my record. I thought the Cowboys were going to go. I said 12-4 question marks. We lost to 2 of the question marks. What am I supposed to say?
Ask Cam Newton, too.
No. Brandon says we have a chance to redeem ourselves with the out schedule coming up after the Giants game. I mean, we really got to redeem ourselves. All we just got to do is focus on winning each game each week. You know what I'm saying? That's why I don't really. It's the only thing I really focus on is just winning each game each week. You know what I'm saying? If you focus on winning each game each week, all that other stuff will take care of itself. If you mind your pennies, your dollars will take care of themselves. You know what I'm saying? Y'all focus. I think too much you guys focus on trying to I think some of you guys want your team to convince you that they're a Super Bowl team 1 week at a time. Like, that's not how it works. Like, that's not how it works. You know what I'm saying? Typically coming from the NFC, because there's real teams in the NFC, it's usually the team that's hottest going into the playoffs. Like, that's just real. You know what I'm saying? Then you got to pay the Patriots. If you beat the Patriots, you get a Super Bowl ring. You know what I'm saying? So, most importantly, you know what I'm saying, we ain't lost to nobody in the NFC East, and that's what's going to determine it, where you stand in your playoffs. Alfred says, Kerry says, all we gotta do is stay consistent. Absolutely. Sam says we will finish the last 9 games 8-1, 12-4 for the season. I can see that. I mean, there are a couple trap games in there, but I mean, New England is the only game that I see that's like, Chicago don't have no type of offense. You know what I'm saying? I'm not worried about anybody in my division. Minnesota looks like a very important game. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, Minnesota's playing tonight. We're gonna definitely watch them and look at them, because Minnesota looks definitely realistic, even with Kirk Cousins. The Jets, to me, was the killer. The Jets game with a Jets game. Like, let that game go, man. Like, Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes you're going to show up and sometimes you're not. Praise God it wasn't in the division.
That was just unbelievable.
Like, yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, and I'm not trying to downplay anything, but it's like, we're a really good team that lost to a bad team. You know what I'm saying? That's just what happened. But more importantly, what happened the very next week? You know what I'm saying? The Jets was the worst loss of the season. That was the lowest point of your season. And think about this. What did the Cowboys do the very next week? You know what I'm saying? So imagine you're in a heavyweight fight and you get punched in the face and you fall down. Did you get up? That's the real question. That's the only thing that people are going to ask you. Did you get up? After he punched you, did you get up? Guess what your Cowboys did? They got up. They got up. They got up. They got up. You know what I'm saying? And played well in a game where a team was guaranteeing them to win. Like, think about that. What is more important? Like, what hit you guys more is the fact that a team guaranteed that they were going to come into our house and whoop us, and our team dominated them. Dominated them. That should be more impressive than you being upset of us losing to the Jets. Like, that don't mean nothing. That means absolutely nothing to the Dallas Cowboys losing to the Jets. I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't mean anything. You know what I'm saying? Beating the Philadelphia Eagles means way more. And I think you guys need to give the Dallas Cowboys more credit than disproving. You know, it's funny because people be like, I have no faith in my team because we lost to the Jets. But then you'll see them blow out a team like the Eagles, but that doesn't do that, you know, like what? Come on, man. Like, slap yourselves for real. It's my birthday, so I get to say what I want to say. Joe says, I'm not scared of Minnesota. I'm not scared of Minnesota either, but I do respect their gangster. Charlie says, they too a TD away from us against the Jets. We really had them in our option. We did, but think about this, man. Think about this. The very, very worst game of our season, we still were in the game and still had action of winning the game. Like, think about this. Like, go look at some of the other teams' worst. Go look at Philadelphia's worst loss of the season. You know what that was? The game they just got, where they got totally blew out, annihilated. Like, that's never happened to the Dallas Cowboys. And to be honest with you, that's only really happened once, and that's when we played Indianapolis. That doesn't happen to us. You know what I'm saying? Most games we're in it into the final 2-3 minutes of the clock. You know what I'm saying? Lamar says Myers missed field goal, poor tackling, penalties. Absolutely. Happy birthday. Appreciate you. If we get a good tier, we're going to the promised land. Absolutely, because if we get a great defensive tackle on the inside of that defensive line, I don't really see too many flaws on the defense, on a defense that's already ridiculous. I don't see it. All right, what's up with the inconsistency in play calling? Honestly, I don't know what's up with the inconsistency in play calling. I know it looked good right now, though. Like, I don't know. Like, you know, that's a question that you probably want to ask Kellen Moore. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I just think, honestly, people are human. To be honest with you, that's what I think. You know what I'm saying? I think people plan for stuff, and then you get punched in the face. You know what I'm saying? You be walking down the street saying, I'm about to beat this dude up, and then he punch you in the face, and everything you was thinking go out the window. This is how it's life. You know what I'm saying? You go out there to change your tire, and you're like, I'm about to change this tire, and you find out you ain't even got no car jack. Guess what? Now you got to improvise. So life happens. You know what I'm saying? Maurice says, I love following you, brother. Happy birthday from San Antonio. I appreciate you, man. Eric says, we are playing chess, not checkers. We have the wins we need for the end game. Absolutely, man. I mean, and I don't want y'all to think like that, but that's how Jerry Jones be thinking like that. But don't get me wrong, that Jets game, it pissed me off. It did. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I think our worst loss does not outweigh our greatest victory of this year. And that was our greatest victory was a blowout in a rivalry game against the team that is the only real team in our division that can challenge us. Like, I think y'all need to like for my boy, what do you a San Antonio fan, you need to Mano Ginobili Euro step out your feelings. You know how you do that Euro step? Like, ooh, ah. Like, I need you to Euro step out your feelings. You know what I'm saying? Just pull yourself out your feelings. You know what I'm saying? Like, we be wanting the Cowboys to be more perfect and more, you know, and better people than we are ourselves. We got to understand, man, sometimes life is going to throw stuff at you, and you may take an L today. But life is an ongoing circle. This is NFL, man. It's a 16-game tournament. You know what I'm saying? Whoever has the best record at the end of the tournament gets to go to the ultimate tournament. You know what I'm saying? Then to get in the tournament, you need a good team and you need some luck. If you don't believe me, ask the Los Angeles Rams. You know what I'm saying? I'm serious. To get to the Super Bowl, you need a really good team, and you need some luck. You know what I'm saying? You need about equal share of both of them.
They forgot how to play in the
count the most.
Yeah, because the best team in the AFC was the Chiefs last year. That's facts. They didn't go to the Super Bowl, and they sure didn't win it.
Sure did.
They didn't win it. You know what I'm saying?
Look at Cam Newton. He was rolling that year undefeated all the way.
Or Cam Newton, exactly. You know what I'm saying? Or the year when Tom Brady and them came back. The best team on the field was the best team in the NFL that year when Atlanta lost was Atlanta.
You're right.
They just, that's what happens at halftime when you on the club on the phone, the club talking about, man, you got the after party ready. They thought they really did that thing. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, Cohen says stick a fork in the Rams. They are done. But yo, man, I'm about to get out of here. I'm going to take my son to go get a haircut real quick. You guys already know what it is. I appreciate you guys for the support and supporting West Coast. Today is National Scouts Day. I gave a lot of stuff away today. I gave like 16, 17 different items away today. Everybody who won, all my scouts, you guys will be getting that stuff here enough. I just want to tell you guys, I appreciate you guys. Without the nation, this it's like, it's hard to, it's hard to do this. You know what I'm saying? Without you guys' support. So I definitely want to let you guys know I appreciate you guys. But man, make sure you guys continue to tune in. Tomorrow, I'm hoping that at some point we get some news that the Dallas Cowboys have signed a defensive tackle, because all it's going to do is make our line even more nastier. You know what I'm saying? If you guys think our line is nasty now, imagine what it would be with a big old fat nasty run stopping defensive tackle. But you guys already know what it is. Never look down because stars up. Peace.